Stop right there. If you're about to walk into that salon and ask for something easy, something short, something low maintenance, put your phone down for the next few minutes first. Because that exact request, the one that sounds so harmless, so reasonable, is how thousands of women have accidentally walked out of a salon chair looking 20 years older instead of younger. Not because they did anything wrong. Not because their stylist was bad at their job. But because of one small sneaky decision that happens in almost every single one of those appointments, and nobody warns you about it beforehand. Here's the truth: nobody at the salon is going to sit you down and explain. It's not your age that's aging you. It's not the gray coming in. It's not even your face shape, or how thin your hair has gotten over the years. It's one haircut pattern so common, so practical, so easy to fall into, that almost every woman over 60 has been talked into some version of it at least once in her life. And it quietly, silently steals years off how youthful and vibrant you look, without you ever realizing that's what happened until you catch yourself in a photo and think, wait, when did I start looking like that? Today I'm going to show you exactly what that cut is, why it happens so easily without anyone meaning any harm, and then I'm giving you 6 real alternatives. Not vague ideas. Not just ask for layers. Actual, specific, nameable hairstyles that professional stylists genuinely use on their most glamorous, most confident clients over 60. The kind of women who turn heads at the grocery store, not because they're chasing youth, but because they look completely at home in their own skin. So stay with me all the way through, because hairstyle number 4 on this list is one that hairdressers say they wish more women would ask for by name, but almost nobody does, simply because they don't know it exists. Now, if this happens to be your very first time here, welcome. I am genuinely glad you found your way to this channel. This is Timeless Style After 60, and every single week, this is the place where we prove over and over again that looking beautiful, polished, and completely put together after 60 does not require a massive budget, and it definitely doesn't require chasing trends that were designed for 25-year-olds on social media. It's not about fighting your age. It's about understanding exactly what works for the woman you are right now, today, at this stage of your life. And if you're already part of this little community, if you've been here before, welcome back, my friend. It is always good to have you. You already know how things work around here. We keep it simple. We keep it honest. No fluff, no filler, no overwhelming jargon, just real practical tips that actually work in real life on a real budget for real women. Before we dive into today's video, if you're new here, I'd really appreciate it if you considered hitting that subscribe button. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And it allows us to keep creating this exact kind of content, made specifically for women like you. And to my regulars, my returning viewers, thank you truly from the bottom of my heart for coming back week after week. It means far more to me than you probably realize. Alright, let's get into today's topic properly, because trust me, once we get to hairstyle number 1, you're going to want to grab a pen. What is the granny cut, and why it happens? So let's slow down for a second and actually talk about what this so-called granny cut is. Because before I hand you the solution, you need to clearly understand the problem, otherwise you'll walk right back into it without even noticing. The granny cut isn't really one specific haircut. It's more of a pattern, a shape, a set of decisions that add up to the same unfortunate result. It's short all over with very little shape, almost no movement, and cut close to the head, sometimes described as helmet-like, because that's genuinely what it starts to resemble. And here's the part that catches so many women off guard. It almost always starts out completely innocent. You sit down in the chair and you mention quite reasonably that you want something a little easier to manage, something with less daily upkeep. That's a completely fair, completely normal request. But here's what often happens next. The stylist hears low maintenance, and somewhere in translation, that turns into cut it all off, keep it short and simple. 6 weeks later, you're standing in front of your bathroom mirror, wondering why you suddenly look like a completely different and noticeably older version of yourself. Here's the important distinction though, and I really want you to hear this clearly. The problem was never short hair itself. Short hair can look absolutely incredible at 60, at 70, even well into your 80s when it's done thoughtfully. The real problem is short hair that has zero shape, zero texture, and zero softness anywhere around the face. That specific combination, flat, shapeless, and severe, is what ages a woman faster than any wrinkle or gray hair ever could on its own. So now that we understand exactly what to steer away from, let's get into the 6 real alternatives. I'm going to walk you through each one properly, explaining not just what it looks like but exactly why it flatters a woman specifically over 60, not just hair in general, and how you can realistically maintain it without spending a fortune at the salon every few weeks. Hairstyle 1. First on the list, the soft layer bob with face framing pieces. Now, I want to be clear, this is not your average run-of-the-mill bob. The entire magic of this style lives in those two words, face framing. Instead of one harsh, blunt line cut straight across at the same length all the way around, this version has slightly longer pieces that fall right near your cheeks and chin. Why does that small detail matter so much? Because as we age, our face naturally begins to soften a little near the jawline, and it happens to every single one of us. It's simply part of the natural process. Those longer face framing pieces work almost like a strategically placed highlight. They gently draw the eye upward toward your eyes and cheekbones, instead of letting the gaze drift downward toward the neck and jaw. Beyond how flattering it is, this style photographs beautifully, whether it's a family gathering, a video call, or simply a selfie you want to feel good about. It's genuinely low maintenance day to day, and most stylists, even ones who aren't specialists in mature hair, can execute this cut successfully on almost any hair type or texture. Here's a budget tip too. Ask your stylist to keep the layering underneath fairly minimal. That way, regrowth becomes far less noticeable over time, and you can comfortably stretch out the weeks between salon visits, saving both time and money. Hairstyle 2. Second on our list, the long layered shag. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. The word shag instantly brings up images of the 70s, and honestly, that association is precisely why this cut works so well today. This particular style brings genuine movement and volume into the hair through layers that are deliberately cut at varying lengths throughout, creating that effortless, slightly undone, lived-in texture. On women specifically over 60, this cut does something almost magical. It adds visual volume without adding heaviness or bulk, which beautifully softens any thinning areas that naturally develop over time. It also pairs stunningly with natural gray or silver hair, because those layers catch and reflect light differently from every single angle, creating dimension that a flat, single-length cut simply cannot achieve. Now, I'll be honest with you, this style does require a little more styling effort than some others on this list, typically involving a round brush and a blow dryer. But even just 5 focused minutes of styling can deliver genuinely salon-quality results, and once you get the hang of the technique, it becomes second nature. Hairstyle 3. Third on our list, the collarbone length cut with side-swept bangs. This particular length, sitting right around the collarbone, is frequently referred to among hairdressers as one of the single most flattering lengths for women over 50, and there's real, tangible reasoning behind that reputation. It strikes a rare balance, long enough that you can still pull it back into a ponytail or clip when you want to, yet short enough to feel genuinely fresh, modern, and easy to manage. When you add soft, side-swept bangs into that equation, it instantly lifts and opens up the entire face, creating a brighter, more youthful first impression. This is honestly the style that hairdressers quietly admit they wish more women would specifically request, because it works beautifully across nearly every face shape and hair texture imaginable, and yet, surprisingly, almost nobody actually asks for it by name. Alright, let's pause here for just a moment, because I genuinely want to hear from you. Out of these first 3 hairstyles, which one are you already picturing yourself wearing? Drop that number in the comments below. I read every single one personally, and it truly helps me understand what to cover in future videos. And while you're down there typing, if this video has been helpful to you so far, please take a quick second to hit that like button. It's such a small action on your part, but it genuinely tells YouTube to show this video to more women just like you, women who could really use this information. And of course, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe because we release new videos just like this one every single week, all centered around looking your absolute best after 60, without ever needing to break the bank to get there. Alright, let's get back into it because I genuinely believe hairstyles 4 through 6 might end up being even better suited for some of you than the first 3. Hairstyle 4. Fourth on our list, the textured pixie with longer top layers. This is a very different animal from those harsh, boxy pixie cuts that unfortunately tend to age women rather than refresh them. The real secret hiding inside this particular style is length, specifically length left intentionally on top. Instead of cutting everything close and perfectly uniform across the entire head, the top layers are left noticeably longer and given plenty of texture, allowing you to style them soft and gently swept to one side, or slightly tousled for extra volume and personality. This intentional length creates real height, and height position near the crown happens to be one of the fastest, most effective ways to visually lift your entire face in an instant. It's also wonderfully low maintenance, making it an ideal choice if what you genuinely want is a true wash-and-go style that still looks intentional and polished, rather than plain or severe. Hairstyle 5. Fifth on our list, curtain bangs paired with a mid-length cut. Curtain bangs part naturally right down the middle and sweep gently outward on both sides, almost resembling curtains framing a window, which is exactly where the name comes from. They've genuinely exploded in popularity across every age group over the past few years, but they carry a particular kind of magic for women past 60 specifically. They soften the forehead beautifully and draw attention naturally toward the eyes, all without requiring the full commitment of a complete, traditional fringe. When you pair curtain bangs with mid-length hair, the entire combination feels youthful, fresh, and current, while still remaining incredibly easy to grow out or adjust down the road if you ever decide to change your mind. That kind of flexibility makes it a wonderfully low-risk style to experiment with. Hairstyle 6. And finally, rounding out our list at number 6, the voluminous blowout bob. This particular style is really all about the finish and the styling, not just the underlying cut itself. At its core, it's a classic bob, but styled deliberately with rounded volume built up at the crown, and slight flips added at the ends, closely resembling the polished, camera-ready looks you'd typically see on a television news anchor. This style communicates something powerful the moment people see it, put together, confident, and completely current all at once. And here's a little secret worth knowing. You don't actually need a fancy, expensive salon blowout every single week to achieve this look at home. A good quality volumizing mousse combined with roughly 10 focus minutes using a round brush will get you about 90% of the way there, right in your own bathroom. Now, take a moment and notice something these 6 very different styles all genuinely have in common. Every single one of them incorporates movement, softness specifically near the face, and some meaningful form of volume or lift. Not one of them is severely short with absolutely no shape to it. Not one of them is cut close and flat against the head. That right there is the real underlying difference between a haircut that quietly ages you and a haircut that visibly takes years off your look. It was honestly never really about length at all, and it never was about how short or long your hair happens to be. It was always about softness, movement, and precisely where the volume sits on your head. Understanding that one principle is genuinely more valuable than memorizing any single haircut name. So the next time you find yourself sitting in that salon chair, and your stylist turns to you and asks what you're thinking today, you now get to walk in with actual language, actual references, and genuine confidence behind your words. You're no longer just saying something easy and hoping for the best. You now know precisely what to ask for, and more importantly, you understand exactly why it works. If this video helped you even just a little bit today, please do me a small favor and give it a thumbs up. It genuinely makes a real difference for a small, growing channel like this one. And if you happen to be new here, please seriously consider subscribing because we are actively building an entire library of videos just like this one, all centered around looking beautiful, confident, and completely current after 60 without ever needing to spend a small fortune to get there. Let me know down in the comments which of these 6 hairstyles you're planning to try first. I would genuinely love to know. And if there's a specific topic you'd love for us to cover next, whether that's makeup, wardrobe essentials, or skincare after 60, go ahead and drop it below, because this entire channel is built around what you actually want and need to see. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the very next one.